In the back of the room, but really is at the forefront of this program and started, much of this connecting with schools a long time ago and has set up the distribution network. So if you haven't met him yet, you definitely have to, because he is a great resource for all of us. And the awards are here. So I'm going to start with my Central Washington Region Awards. And I want to start by awarding two farmers who were really instrumental in getting the program started in Wenatchee. And you've already heard their names and seen one of them on the screen here. So Scott and Maggie of McManus Family Farm. Would you guys mind coming up? So they have an orchard in Kashmir, and they're always willing to help out with Harvest of the Month program, which we do in Wenatchee. One thing that they grow a lot of pears. They do apples and pears. And some of their pears are the heirloom sort of Seckel pears, which are really small, sweet pears, and the kids love them. So they're really perfect for the Harvest of the Month program. And these two are really perfect too, because they're also willing to come into the schools no matter when we ask. They always seem to be able to make time, and even come in with a big bin and show kids what it's like to actually do that harvesting. So I would like to give these special apron awards one to Maggie McManus and one to Scott. Turn around for the camera.
Scott, we almost had your t-shirt, but then I said real men can cook.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Thank you, Scott and Maggie. That's
Thank
wonderful.
You.
Keep up the good work. And there's another a number of farmers, another farm that I would like to award for Central Washington Award this year, and that is Cloudview Echo Farms. So I'd like to ask Jim Baird and Gabriella and Carly to please come up. Is Carly here? Still, oh, there you are, good. So Cloudview also has been really instrumental in helping to initiate farm to school in the Central Washington region. Early on, making those connections, even making connections farm to table, so working with different institutions as well. But what I really like especially about Cloudview is they have such great diversity of produce, and they've got the garden, the farm, they've also got orchards. And they all are really into education. So a big part of what they're doing is helping interns learn what to do in the garden and the farm. And also they've even started a new farm. So they've got the Royal City Farm, and now they have an Ephrata Farm, which is really dedicated to education as well. They've had some field camps come up. And they're also likewise very willing to come out for Harvest of the Month to the schools, help the kids know that they were the ones who grew it. Carly came to our nutrition fair at one of the elementary schools, spent the whole morning there telling kids about pumpkins and how they grow and the seeds inside and things like that. So they're just really wonderful partners to have in the Farm to School program. So I really want to thank them. And I'll start by giving the apron to Carly. And an apron for Gabriella. And even though real men can cook, we decided to give Jim Baird the plaque so that he can proudly display it in his office, farm, car, pickup. And it says, the network proudly presents the 2013 Fresh Food in Schools Award to Cloudview Echo Farms. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Please keep up the great work. And finally, my other award goes to a school district. And I would like to award Ellensburg School District, Alyssa Iser. So, and I know Alyssa is here, so please come up, Alyssa. Now, some of you may not know Alyssa. She's relatively new. She started in September, is that right? And so this is why I wanted to award Alyssa, because even though she's very new to being a food service director, she jumped right in there right away, did Taste Washington, which is what, September 26th. So I thought that was extremely brave of her, and she was willing to try it. She was learning everything, but she put that on there as well. And then she's doing creative stuff in her kitchens, things like cowboy caviar, because Ellensburg is the cowboy capital, right? So trying to find ways to market the fruits and vegetables to her kids, and really has an open mind about farm to school and approaching these things in her school district. So I would like to give Alyssa another one of our wonderful aprons, Alyssa Iser of Ellensburg Food District. Yes, you do. I really have great potatoes. Thank you. So I'm going to ask that Brian comes up now and does his awards for Eastern Washington.
All right. Oh my goodness. So I get to work in Eastern Washington, and unfortunately one of Eastern Washington's awardees could not make it today, which I think, if anything, speaks to their relentless pursuit of introducing their product to more and more communities and institutions and consumers, because they're off already committed to talking legumes with somebody else. But Kim and Matt Davidson represent Davidson Commodities, which is the regional marketing arm for the Pacific Northwest Growers Co-op, which is a group of I think it's about 40 family farms all in the Palouse, so just south of Spokane, down into the Pullman area. And they grow a variety of chickpeas, lentils, and dried peas, and have exceptional product. It's beautiful, it tastes good. I enjoy I think I'm comfortable calling myself a man who knows how to cook. As somebody who loves to cook, their product is great to work with. And Kim and Matt are so passionate about introducing a Washington product, a Palouse product, to people eating food in our state, and are really dedicated, because they're at a scale that's appropriate for institutional level purchasing, to working with schools. And that for them means everything from being able to kind of paint the big picture economic possibility down to taking their own hummus to an elementary school and putting it on elementary school kids' plates themselves. And they've got a lentil superhero sticker that they give out with gusto, and their energy is something that inspires me and has for several years. And we wanted to recognize them for that. And they were disappointed that they couldn't make it even before they knew that they were going to receive the award. So if you are interested in their product, another thing that they do extraordinarily well is give away free stuff. And they will come to your school, they will provide you recipes, and will do everything in their power to introduce you to how to work with a really great set of products. So if that sounds interesting to you, please come find me, and I can help you connect with Davidson Commodities. This litany of students, it felt like maybe like a quarter of the student body, and it ended up giving a talk on one thing or the other during this lunchtime open house ribbon cutting that was going on, and it was so incredible to listen to some of the things that these students were doing. They were starting composting programs and talking about the school's environmental footprint, and looking at ways that they could be organizing around food and agriculture, and just all sorts of really creative enterprises and initiatives that were so clearly tied in their minds and their imaginations and in their words in front of the rest of the student body, and the mayor was there and the school superintendent was there, that they got why this was the things they were talking about were very important to them, and they were there to celebrate a month and a half into school, the grand opening of Spokane District 81's pilot scratch kitchen. And it was quite a bustle that day. There was a lot going on. I think I maybe missed breakfast that morning, so I was very focused on eating lunch. And with everything that was going on, there was an incredible energy coming from the kitchen, and it was clear that that for everything else that was happening that day and being discussed about the school year, and for all there was to celebrate, that the focal point, and a new focal point at a school that's doing lots of wonderful things, was the leadership and potential that was coming from this new scratch-based meal program that had been introduced. And she did get the opportunity to spend a little bit of time in front of everybody, but for the most part, was all work and care and passion, and it showed in the meal. And Chef Renee Selgren, I really want to recognize today for being a pretty incredible leader in a very, very big, I think it's the second largest school district in the state or something silly like that. For being very creative in a system that can't always be creative to do what it needs to do. And every time Renee and I get to talk, I hear about new things that are being generated because of the work that she's doing, and things being propelled forward that I was not sure we'd be talking about 5 years from now, let alone earlier this morning when she came in the door. So thank you so much for your work. It's been a pleasure to get to work with you, and I think we've got lots of good stuff coming down the pike, and I have an apron for you. And that does it for me. I'd like to welcome Acacia on the stage.
Hello, I'm Acacia, and I have the pleasure of working with farms and school districts in Western Washington, and 10 of them to be precise, and I have 2 people that I would like to honor today. Neither of them are able to be here, unfortunately, so I'll keep my remarks brief because I will be hand-delivering these when I go back to Western Washington. But the first that I would like to award is Arlington Public Schools, and the Director of Health and Nutrition there is Ed Aylesworth. And Ed has done a really great job of heading up the Farm to School group in his county and his school district. And he received a grant from the Stillaguamish tribe last year for $100,000. And the group that he works with there decided to use that money to purchase salad bars for all 9 schools in the school district. And they were just able to install them this year. And the whole point of putting these 9 salad bars in all the schools there was to feature Washington-grown produce. And so the other piece of what he did in this last year was he worked on a request for bids with Tricia Kovacs, and the request for bids that goes out to farms now for Arlington Public Schools gives a price preference to all farms in Washington State, but specifically to farms in his 3-county area, which is wonderful. So he can pay a little bit more for produce that's grown really close to home and really support his farms in those areas. So I love Ed, he's wonderful, and I really want to honor him today. We're going to give him a plaque when we get back to Western Washington. And what else did I want to say about Ed? He is going to be looking for additional funding potentially from the Stillaguamish tribe to expand his education efforts next. And so I really look forward to seeing what Ed does next. And if you would like to see his request for bids, actually it's a really good model, and it's in the School's Guide to Purchasing Washington-Grown Food, which Tricia will be talking about in the next session. Ellen, do you want to take a picture of me with Ed's plaque? All right, okay. So the second person that I'd like to honor today is Tim Terpstra at Ralph's Greenhouse. So Ralph's Greenhouse is a farm in Mount Vernon, and Tim has been a really wonderful partner with the Farm to School group there that supports the Mount Vernon School District. And Tim has provided all sorts of produce to the school district at a pretty reduced rate, just to get the progress started, the program started in the schools there. And so they specialize in leeks and potatoes and spinach, and this year for Taste Washington Day, Tim and Ralph's supplied all the potatoes and leeks for this wonderful potato leek soup. And Tim even donated some wonderful leek costumes so that a few lucky people could show up at random cafeterias in leek costumes and tempt the children to eat the wonderful potato leek soup. So Tim has been a really wonderful partner, and we will be honoring him with, I believe, a t-shirt. He's the only one that gets a t-shirt. So
No, he gets an apron.
he gets an apron?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Tim can cook, I'm sure of it. If I could get a round of applause for Tim and for Ed. Thank you very